Okay, it's 6:30 p.m. in the UK on what's been called Blue Monday, but we're not having any Blue Monday here. We're having blue skies. We're going to cheer you right up and reduce some of that stress that you might be having in the midst of the pandemic. Maybe you're homeschooling, maybe you're home alone, all kinds of challenges that you might be facing right now. We're going to soothe every bone. So you may know that I'm going to invite you to put your feet in some bubble bath at some point this evening. If you've already done that, that's fine. If your feet are already swishing about in the bubbles. If you haven't done that yet, do not worry. There will be a 5-minute break where you can go and boil the kettle, put yourself some warm water into any kind of tub. You know, sometimes people use something out the kitchen, washing up bowl, cooking pot. Somebody used a cat litter tray. I use a plastic drawer from a storage unit. As long as it holds the water, do not worry. Okay, so I reckon you being here, we probably have something in common. And that is, well, actually, two things. One is that we know how to work hard. And the second thing is we don't always know when to stop working hard. And sometimes we carry on and we burn out, or we just get completely frazzled and everything seems overwhelming and we're not sure of the way forward. We don't sleep well. Your brain's still buzzing at night time. You wake up feeling like you haven't had a proper sleep and you're back at it again. And I know in these times of COVID-19, a lot of the teams that I'm working with are trying to operate at 100% at the kind of pace and workload that they would have this time last year. And it's just not possible. So stop it. It's possible to work to your fullest extent each day and not beyond that. So you're not using up your reserve tank all of the time. So we're going to have a look at how we might reduce some of that stress and tension that we might be holding right now. And I'm going to teach you some techniques that you can use ongoing so that later today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year even, you've got tools in your toolkit so that you don't get so much tension in the body that causes all kinds of mental and physical issues. So my name's Pam Burrows People Booster, and what I do is go into organisations. I say into organisations, I do that via the internet these days, and I help them to reduce stress, boost confidence, and create what I call a care model culture in their organisations. And you're going to get a snippet of that tonight. So you've got content in this particular spa that I haven't done in other ones of the free spas. So I hope you'll enjoy this new content, well, new to you. Okay, what we're going to do is simple, but it's powerful. It's some of the bits are taken from Kundalini Yoga, and those are the warm-ups that we use in Kundalini Yoga. But nevertheless, although they're simple and gentle and just warm-ups, they may cause you, if you've got some aches and pains, you may find that something's uncomfortable, in which case don't push yourself, just be gentle. And I'm going to talk about why you need to do that even more in a moment. So I basically cherry-picked my favourite things from a variety of sources, mostly yogic in source, and hopefully those are going to be useful to you. We're going to be looking at both physiology and psychology of stress and tension and how you might be feeling right now. So I hope you're comfortable. I hope that you are going to spend the next 90 minutes or probably 85 minutes with me just spending some time looking after your very precious self. Whatever job you do, even if you are not actually doing a job at the moment, thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for just being here in the world and being here tonight so that we can share and then spread the love, because every single person has value in the world. And even if you don't feel like you're operating at your fullest extent right now, that's okay. You're doing the best you can with what you've got. So what else did I want to tell you? Oh, I wanted to ask you a question. So if you're there live or if you are on catch up, either way, I'd like you to pop in the comments. So have a fish around on your screen and find the YouTube comments. And I'd like you to let me know, how are you at the moment? So before we came on this session, what would you say your stress levels are? So you can give me a word. The word might be frazzled, or you might be okay. And a score out of 10. 10 being I've got steam coming out my ears, 0 being completely chilled out. So let me know your stress levels. Okay, just while they're popping into the comments box there, and the wonderful Annie is the other side of my screen, she's going to pass those on to me. And because I'm recording this in Zoom and she's on the YouTube, so I've got the two things going on at the same time. And what we're going to do is we're going to start to look at the kind of toolkit that you can build for yourself. And I'm going to start with something actually quite small, but a bit like me, small but noisy. It's something which can be quite effective. So hopefully that's like me too. Anyway, move on. And it's called Just Let Go. And I'll tell you where the word comes from in a bit, but it does what it says on the tin, really. It's about letting go of the tension that you might be holding. Now, really importantly, the letting go of tension is about allowing the body to do the maintenance it needs to be well in mind and body and spirit and emotions and everything else that you need it to do. When we hold on to tension, the body is in stress mode and it's not doing its maintenance. So it's not getting rid of the things, the toxins and the things that you don't need. It's not doing the repairing that you need. When we fully relax, what we get is the ability to build protein, which is what we need to mend things in the body. So the more you relax, the more you're going to mend, and the more you mend, the stronger you feel, and the more you're going to be able to cope with whatever comes next. So let's start by releasing some of that tension. Now, a few things to tell you first. When we're holding on to tension, where do we hold it? We tend to scrunch up, we frown in the forehead, we clench the jaw so the teeth are jammed together. Sometimes people need a gum guard at night because they're going to grind their teeth away. We stick the tongue to the roof of the mouth and the shoulders raise up like this, and we start to breathe short and shallow. So all of those things happen at the same time, and so we're going to get rid of them all at the same time. So join in with me. I really want you to join in with as much as you can, because when you do that, you are then able to feel the difference, and you're more likely to have a go at it and continue doing it afterwards. So we're going to breathe in and raise the shoulders and also the eyebrows. Deep breath in, and then you're going to roll the shoulders back and down, relax the forehead, relax the jaw, relax the tongue. Let's do that a few more times. Breathing in, raising everything up, including the eyebrows, looking surprised. Breathe out, roll them back and down, and breathe out. Let's do that a few more times. You can do it at the length of breath that feels comfortable for you. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in, everything up. Breathing out, everything down. And 1 more. And then I'd like you to just sit with your eyes closed and just notice how that feels. And we're creating what I call a sanity space. How many times, even just today, have you gone from one thing to the next thing to the next thing without a moment in between to look at what you've just achieved, what's just happened, and how you feel? Just take a deep breath where you are. And I've asked you to close your eyes so that you can take your focus inside. I bet your focus has been outside the whole time. What does everybody else need? What's going on? What about the news? How's my neighbour? How's my friend? How's my colleague? What is it I need to do next? You've been all about outside and what everything else needs. Now we're going inside and see how you are. You might already have noticed a little lightening from that tension, softening up a little bit. You might have noticed there's a bit of crunching and clicking when you move your shoulders, and that's because the tension has built up. You need to do this a bit more often. You might have noticed that you feel a little bit dizzy because you're taking deep breaths perhaps for the first time today, and it makes you a little bit dizzy. So you can just return to your normal breath and just know that practicing some longer, deeper breaths are what switch off those stress chemicals and allow the body to do its maintenance. So practice those longer breaths, and particularly the out breath. That's the one that allows us to really let go. So Annie's just sent me some notes here. Sarita is okay but stressed and looking for work. Tricky. Good luck with that. We're sending everybody that's on this call right now is sending you good vibes, Sarita. You can do it. Alison's feeling drained and stressed at an 8. C. Freeman is tired and a 6. We've got frazzled, drained, tired, and Jill is an exhausted 8. Bless you. Thank you for sharing those things with us. I'm going to give Annie a darker pen so I can see it better. Thank you very much. The blue one's best. Okay, it's all live here. And what we're going to move on to next is just explaining what we've just done. So opening your eyes if you haven't already and noticing how you feel. And I'm just going to give you a very quick way of remembering what it is that we've just done and why it's called Just Let Go. So J is for jaw, remembering to loosen the jaw. The U would be for forehead, but F didn't make a word, so it's upper face. So upper face. The S is for shoulders, relax the shoulders, and the T is for tongue. J-U-S-T, just. Jaw, upper face, shoulders, and tongue. And the let go part is letting go of that breath. Letting go of all that tension. Now, you might feel like there isn't time in your day right now to relax, to let go. But think about how many times a day do you get frustrated by something, by the buffering of the computer, the boiling of the kettle, the queue that you might be in, the being on hold on the phone, waiting for somebody else to do something before you can do what it is that you need to do. All of those moments can turn from a mess to a message. Don't let that frustration build up yet more stress. In fact, you could be letting go of the stress with a little just letting go. The more often you do it, the more you'll get used to that softness in your shoulders, and you'll notice when they're creeping up so that your shoulders are trying to be earrings, and you'll remember to just let it go. It will become a habit to have softer shoulders and not build up that tension. So I hope you'll find a moment in your day where you can just bring in that new habit and start to chip away at that tension little by little. Okay, right. Now, there's 3 things that are important about stress, particularly when you're at work. And that is that you need a whole suite of skills, a toolbox that you can use to reduce your stress and stay well, no matter what challenges are thrown at you. But that's no good if your manager isn't noticing what the stresses are and the organisation is set up in such a way that it causes stress. So do talk to me if you are in a situation where you could invite me in to talk to your organisation to have that structure of stress management that reduces the amount of stress that you're causing as an organisation, how you manage it when it does come up, and how managers are skilled enough to properly support staff and themselves, and then everybody has a suite of skills in their toolbox. So it's a 3-part thing: the organisation, you, and everybody else. And when that all fits together, when I do a full program of the care model with organisations, oh, it's beautiful, because it's not just about you gritting your teeth and trying to carry on through. It's about the whole team and the whole organisation working in that positive, healthy well-being culture. So drop me a line if you want to know more about that. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the care model then. I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour. I'm not going to go into the 3 levels. We're just going to talk about your level, as in about you, no matter what level you're at in the organisation, the level of looking after yourself. So that's what we're going to look at now. So the care model is an acronym, as you may have guessed, and we're going to start with the C. So here comes the C. Now, C stands for compassion. I'm not going to waste your time talking about how to be compassionate to other people, because it's highly likely that you're as frazzled as you are because you have been busy being compassionate. This C for compassion is about being kind to yourself. How much time do you spend with one of these, beating yourself up for what's not finished, what's not as good as it could have been, the email you sent without the attachment, and you're just busy criticizing yourself? You might not notice it. You might not do it in full sentences. It might just be a oh, I can't believe I've just done that. Those moments will increase your stress levels, increase your tension. And what we're all about here is releasing that so that you have a strong immune system, huge resilience, and your ability to tackle the next challenge, no problem at all, and stay well in that process. So that entails being kind in your mind, showing yourself the kind of compassion that you show to other people, not beating yourself up, not criticizing, not expecting yourself to be working at the same level of 100% as you were before the pandemic, but actually looking at what's real for you right now and noticing actually you're doing the best you can. So a little bit of kindness. When you get something wrong, recognize it's probably because you're tired, or you're trying to juggle too many things, or you're doing things that actually are above and beyond when actually just the bare minimum will do right now. So have a think about how you can show yourself a bit more compassion and be kind in your mind. So that's the C of the care model. And now we are on to the A. So while I'm busy switching lights on, I wonder if Annie might switch the big spotlight on over there for me, because when I switch these lovely lights on here, it makes the camera go dark. So Annie's just going to put the softbox on. Thank you, Annie. So hopefully you can see me okay now. And this is the A of the care model. It stands for acknowledge. What have you done today that you've completely dismissed and thought, oh no, wasn't really very good, or not even noticed? You've just got on with things because it was what you needed to do. The A for acknowledge is really important because it sets off a chemical called serotonin, the sense of success and achievement. Now, I had a little buzz of this just before I came on this session because I wrote 2 things on my to-do list for today. You might think it's strange to add things to your list at the end of the day, but those things were things that weren't on my list at the start of the day, but things that I ended up achieving and getting sorted out before the end of the day. So I wrote them on my list in order to have the joy of ticking them off. And that is entirely allowed, because that sense of achievement is really important. You know, if you get to the end of the day and you set yourself 10 things to do, you've only done 5. If you focus on the 5 you didn't do, that probably were never humanly possible in the time you've got, and you then instead of that, you focus on the things that you did achieve, you're going to get a burst of serotonin. You're going to have less of the stress chemicals you get when you're beating yourself up for what you didn't do. And you're going to realize what your own capabilities are. When you start to acknowledge those things, it's very powerful. Now, you might have already heard of gratitude journals, and this plays into the same chemistry. So if at the end of the day, and if you've already got a gratitude journal, you can just add to that, and that's great. You have a little book by the side of the bed, and in that you write down things you're grateful for that day and things that you've achieved, the little acknowledgements of the day. Even if that is, so many people wound me up today, but I didn't scream at them once. That's an achievement. That's something to be noticed, you know. If you got out of bed and you got dressed, maybe you even put shoes on. Ooh. And those little achievements, count every single one of them, because every time you count, you are getting rid of the stress hormones and you're building those positive hormones, and you are helping yourself to feel resilient. Don't underestimate even the tiniest thing. They're all worth acknowledging. So that brings us on to the R, and the R stands for reality. How many times do you say yes to something that really you could have said no to, or should have said no to, because you haven't got the capacity to do what it is that you need to do? Reality is about matching up your intention and your actual capacity, the reality of the resources, the energy, the finances, maybe the patience or the time that you've got in order to do those things. How many times do you set yourself up? This goes right back to what I said at the beginning, your ability to work hard and to carry on even when you're exhausted, that you sometimes set yourselves tasks that is just too much. It's not based on the reality of what you've actually got in store, your capability, your capacity to do those things. So the R of the care model is about separating out your intention. You can still have a good intention, but need to say, no, I can't help with that one. You're still a good person. The E of the care model is for energy, and this underpins everything else. 3 key things plus an extra one. 3 key things: eat, drink, sleep. It's as simple as that, but actually it isn't, is it? We're not always eating when we're hungry. We're not always eating the right things when we do eat. Sometimes we're not hydrating, and sometimes we're not resting, or we're not sleeping. All of these things, all combined, have an impact on each other. So when you are overstretching and you're not basing your commitments in reality, then you're probably going to feel completely frazzled, bring all that tension into the top half of the body, and then not sleep well because your brain is so full of those things. So we need to look at those 3 very simple yet quite tricky to keep on top of things: eat, drink, sleep. And the 4th thing is to find joy. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes you can be absolutely exhausted, but there's something coming up that you really enjoy doing, and suddenly you've got energy from somewhere. And sometimes that sluggishness is because we've been sitting down a lot and you've been using your brain a lot, but you haven't actually used your body. So what is it that helps you and your body to find joy? For me, I love to build a bonfire out in the garden. I love to dance. There are less opportunities to do that, but you still can. You can do it on your own. You can do it online. Find things that bring you joy, and don't underestimate how doing it online still will give you a bit of a buzz. So what are the things you love to do? And one of the things that happens with people who burn out is that the very things that would make them feel better are the things that fall off the list, because they're the things for you rather than anybody else. So we think, oh, it doesn't matter, I won't do that thing I was going to do, and that really plays into the whole burnout scenario. If you're interested in checking out your own burnout risk, on my website pamburrows.com you'll find a quiz there, and you can find out whether you're red and right close to burnout, or whether you're way down at green and quite chilled out. And you can find out how to spot the risks in my little book, which is on Amazon, Burnout Buster. 33 red flags that'll tell you you're heading for burnout, 33 things to do about them so that you don't burn out. So hopefully you will enjoy that if you want to. Right, what's next? Okay, fantastic. Right, what we're going to do next is get wet. So we're going to take a few minutes to break. So if you've already got your feet in the water and you want to get a top up to warm your water up, then you can do that. If you haven't yet got your feet in water, then fetch yourself something that will hold the water, a bit of bubble bath, and get your feet in. Then we're going to soak our feet whilst we do some upper body releasing of tension techniques, and then we're going to pay attention to our feet. If getting your hands and feet in the same zone is tricky for you for whatever physical reasons, don't worry, I've got an alternative for you using your hands. And if you want to, you can just sit and watch and just take some deep breaths and chill out, and just think about what that would feel like for you. So I'm going to take a few moments now, and so let's see, on my clock here it says 53, so let's be back at 57 when we will have our feet in the water and hopefully some bubble bath and whatever else. So I hope you'll join me then. Meanwhile, while everybody goes off to do that, I'm just going to get ready and get my little bucket ready. My bucket's ready here, so I'm going to carry on talking, but if you need to go get your water, please do. I'm just going to draw my little I think it's still hot, yeah, lovely. And yes, mine's still warm from earlier. That's marvellous, thank you, Annie. And so I've got my feet in the water. If you need to go off and do your thing and be back at 57, that is fine. And I'll just carry on talking, because if you are still just watching because your feet are already in the water and you've topped up and everything, I don't want you to sit there all on your own. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about what I put in the water. So one of the things that I put in the water is something really quite magical, and that is Epsom salts. This one's from Boots, other places sell it. You can also get it on the internet, 10-litre bucket. Epsom salts feel like a magic trick. You put them in the water and they basically take the stress away from your body. That sounds like a bit of a woo-woo kind of out there new age kind of claim, but actually it is scientific, and the chemical compound softens, helps soften the muscle and take all the tension out of it. Now if you buy the Epsom salts, is basically a basic mineral, and you can get it really quite cheaply, so you don't need to buy the expensive ones with stuff in them. You can buy the cheap ones and then spend your spare money on really, really good essential oils. I've got lavender here, so I'm going to just drop that in the water. And sometimes people aren't keen on the smell of lavender for relaxation. They kind of think it smells like old ladies. Oh no, I'm now an old lady. And actually I am. The other things you can use are rose and also geranium are good for relaxation. So I'm sure there'll be an essential oil that's right for you that you can find. I've also got some bubble bath in there, which is a stress relief bubble bath, and that's all very nice. Right, just gonna grab a drink. So hopefully you're now getting settled with your water and got your feet in there. And I'm just interested, how often do you do this, aside from those of you who jump on every spa that I do? But just generally, before you started doing these online spas with me, how likely would you have been to get your feet in a bucket? The good thing about it is, we think about spas and pampering, we think about having a weekend somewhere really expensive that you can't even go to at the moment, but we also think about whole body experiences and somebody else having to do it for you, whereas here we are, you can have your feet in a bucket anytime. In fact, somebody I know, who I think is here tonight, is planning to do a bit of this underneath the Zoom when she's on work calls. Why not? Nobody needs to know. Or you could tell your whole team, and your whole team could be doing it at the same time and really enjoying a little bit of relaxation and a bit of fun at the same time as Zoom gloom. Okay, right, so there we are at 6:57 if you're live, and hopefully you're back and you're sorted and we're ready to go with our next piece. So we've got the feet in the water. I've got Epsom salts and lavender essential oil in there, highly recommended. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do some things with the top half of the body where we tend to keep a lot of tension. And we're going to start with something from Kundalini Yoga, which is called a Sufi grind. And what you need to do for this is you arch your back, pushing your chest forward as you breathe in, and then you come to the right and go back, and now we're arching our back in the opposite way like a turtle, and we're coming to the left and then coming to the front. Okay, but we're going to do that with our eyes closed. Remember, taking the focus inside. So you've got your eyes gently closed, and you're imagine the top half of your body is a spoon that's stirring a lovely warm drink, and you're curving the spine forwards and then backwards. Now let's add the breath. You're breathing in as you come forward, and you're breathing out as you go back. All of the things that we're going to do are about raising your energy and at the same time relaxing. And when we bend the spine one way and then the other way, we're lubricating, we're encouraging lubrication of it. And in yoga we say you're as young as your spine is, so you are bringing youth to your spine. And then the next time you come to the front, come to stillness, and then we're going to go in the opposite direction. So breathing into the front, breathing out as you go back, this time in a, well, for me it's anti-clockwise, depends which way you started, just the opposite way to what you started. Breathing in, breathing out, keeping those breaths nice and long. and then coming to stillness in the middle, still with your eyes gently closed. Let's take another sanity space. Just breathe, soften your shoulders, soften that upper face, loosen the jaw, let the tongue rest in the bottom palate. You might find that you brought a little tension in because you were concentrating. That's okay. You can just notice that and then just let it go with kindness in your mind. So let's have a quick look at my notes here from Annie. Jill did some spa stuff once in the last 6 months. She had a manicure. Sammy, not often. Mac, never. Only when Pam does a super generous spa. That's really kind. Thank you for that. Okay, so see how that feels. And let's do the third of our 3. This is a set of 3. And actually, no, we're going to do 4. Wow. Going to add another one on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do shoulder shrugs. Now, if you have a lot of tension here, what you might want to do when you're working on this yourself, you put one of those heat up Wheatie bag things that goes in the microwave, or a warm hot water bottle across your shoulders. Do that before you do these movements, and then we'll make the muscles softer. Or you just do that of an evening when you're trying to let go. Just warm up those muscles and it will make you feel nice. So if you've got a lot of tension there, be careful with this, but it's really good if you do it regularly. You really start to release that tension. So what we're going to do is we're going to raise the shoulders up to be earrings. Nice deep breath in, and then drop them down. If you've got a lot of pain, then drop them slowly, okay? And when you're ready, just close your eyes as you continue. It's so exciting, it's wobbling the camera. Let's do 3 more. And same again, hands gently in the lap, eyes closed, just sit and notice how you feel. Let your breath return to its natural pace. Oh my goodness. Every moment that you've been working hard and carrying on and thinking, oh, I can't cope with this. Every little inch of tension melting away now. And just notice how that feels. Giving yourself a little sanity space. You could maybe practice each time you do something in your day, taking a moment, a sanity space to just breathe, notice what's happened, how you feel, before leaping into what's next. You know, we're constantly on with the next thing. Okay, let's go on to our 4th bonus thing, and those of you who already know me may have guessed what this is going to be. It's one of my very favourite things. As soon as I started to learn about the link between psychology and how we feel and physiology and what we do with our bodies, oh my goodness, this is a beautiful blend of the two. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the arms go up and down so that the hands flap. So you're not moving the hand, you're flapping the arms so that the hands just move like a toddler who's just learned to wave bye-bye. Okay, and then bring the shoulders into it, so the shoulders are going up and down as well. There's something magical that happens with the nerve endings in the wrist here, and the nervous system when we do a good shake really just gets completely reset. Right, now start to shake the hands as if you're flicking water off, as if you've just sung happy birthday twice and now you're getting rid of the water. Not that you would do that, of course, because it wouldn't be COVID safe, but imagine you're a Labrador coming out of the water, having a really good shake. If you were standing up rather than got your feet in a bucket of water, you could shake your legs as well. I love to put on Taylor Swift, Shake It Off, and do this for 3 minutes, and just the way I feel afterwards, just a really great way of working off all the weird feelings. Now, just for the last few moments, if you're able and it's not uncomfortable for you, shaking the hands above the head. This is a brilliant thing to do, even just a few seconds. You know that afternoon slump where you're really not sure and you're going to head for the biscuits, or you're not sure what you're going to do? Just shaking the hands above the head really changes the energy levels. Okay, bring the hands into the lap. Close your eyes. Take a moment, a little sanity space. Getting into the habit of doing one thing, stopping, taking a breath before you do the next. See if you can do that in your day. It does mean that we're less likely to get that rapid build up like a hamster wheel that just gets faster and faster and faster, and so that you get to the end of the day and you can't switch off. We're having these little sanity spaces through the day that just create enough space for you to feel grounded and safe and well. Okay, gently opening your eyes. And so now we're going to do some massage. Oh, how lovely, you might say. I'm going to take off my diamonds, not really diamonds, and we're going to do some shoulder massage. So if you were noticing crunches and clicking earlier, we're going to deal with that now. I want you to make a movement like this. We're going to get the trapezius muscle, the really big muscle here between the neck and the shoulder. I'm going to give it a big squeeze, and you're going to take a big breath in. Hold it for a moment or two and let go of the breath and let go of that muscle. I'm going to do that a few times. Keep squeezing that muscle and taking nice long breaths. Remember, it's the out breath that really relaxes us. It's the one that we do at the end of the day. That kind of breath. And it's the one that gives the brain and the body the message that all is well and it's safe to relax. The problem with the stresses that we're experiencing at the moment is that we're kind of permanently on alert. And so the part of the brain that's about survival, that amygdala, the reptilian part of the brain that is only about survival, there's no nuances in it. It just is about life or death. And it doesn't know when to completely switch off because it thinks, oh, there might be some danger here. So we need to keep reminding the mind and the body that it's okay to switch off. And we do that most powerfully and quickly by taking a longer breath. Okay, lovely. One big squeeze, one big breath in, and let it go. And then we're going to dust the shoulder. Now, what we're doing here is we're affecting the fascia, which is just below the surface of the skin, and the nerve endings. But unscientifically, I like to think we're just dusting off other people's nonsense that we don't have to be harassing ourselves with. Other people's criticism, the other people's disappointment, whatever. It's not your stuff. Okay, let's just notice the difference between one shoulder and the other. Ooh, feels like we should even that up a little bit. Just roll them a couple of times. You have to notice the difference. I can. This is my fourth one of these in 6 days, so my shoulders are feeling good. Okay, we're going to use this movement again on that big trapezius muscle. Give it a squeeze, a breath in. Hold it a moment or two, and then let go. And then keep squeezing and breathing. You don't have to time the breath to the squeeze, just do what feels good. We're just doing very basic versions of this. When we do longer spa sessions, I do some paid for spas, and I do spas for organisations. Never thought I would. Thought this would just be a individual choice thing, but I'm now doing spas for organisations and getting whole teams with their feet in buckets. Just brilliant. And on those we spend a little longer doing more versions of this and tackling all kinds of other things, but you're getting at least some good solid stuff here. Take a big breath in and squeeze that muscle. Hold it a moment or two and let it go. And then let's just dust off anything we don't need. It's not our stuff. Lovely. Roll the shoulders a few times and ease the neck and shoulders out a little bit. Let's nod yes to people when they're asking us if we need some help. Let's shake no to those things we really shouldn't keep taking on. This is a good way to ease out the neck, but it's great to add in those psychological things. Let's say yes, I would like some help, please. Let's say no, I can't take that on, it's too much. Those are the things we need to do a few more often. Okay, where are we up to? Oh, yes. Now, if you're wearing glasses, you might want to pop them off. We're just going to do a very quick version of a head massage. We're going to use this motion with our fingers and thumbs, and we're going to give the ears some love. Ooh. The lobes, and then up and round, and then back down again. Lovely. Then we're going to take 2 fingers and we're going to apply them to the temples. An internationally recognized symbol for stressed headache. It's almost like we know we need to do this And what are we doing? We're relaxing the muscles and the tension in the head and face. Let's bring it down to that jaw. And if you are a bit of a grinder in the night time, doing this before you go to sleep, relaxing all that tension, is a really good idea. Come down to the chin if you want to, or you can go up behind the ears, give the neck a little rub, wherever feels good for you. Now, in this session, we're not aiming to get you qualified in massage and reflexology. What we're aiming for is for you to give yourself a little bit of time to release the tension that causes the stress that can lead to illness, physical and mental. So it's just about listening to your own self, and that C of the care model for compassion includes listening, not just speaking to yourself with kindness, but listening to yourself with kindness. So when you know you're tired or hungry or thirsty, that you go, oh, okay, in the way that you would if it was somebody else. You know, if somebody said to you, oh, I'm really thirsty, you wouldn't say to them, shut up and get on with your work. You'd say, oh, let me get you a drink, or here's the tap, or whatever. So treating yourself with the kindness you treat others. Okay, now we're going to take the hands into the scalp, and we're not going to do the hair washing kind of movement. We're going to have the fingers on the scalp, and you're moving the fingers and manipulating the skin. So fingers onto the head and little circles, but then go somewhere else and move it around a little bit. You might want to get your thumbs into the base of the skull. Now, sometimes that might make you feel a bit nauseous if you've got a lot of tension there. So kindness, it's all about kindness. And then if you want to finish off, you can do a kind of hair wash, a rub all over. Don't know why I bothered doing my hair before the call. Let's not worry about what we look like. Let's worry about what we feel like. I feel good. Okay, and then we're going to take the fingertips to the forehead and we're going to drum them. And we're going to go pitter-patter down the face to the chin. Start again at the top, all the way down to the chin. Start at the top, all the way down. Around the sides of the face. Another couple of times. And then I want you to hold your face like you'd hold the face of somebody really precious. You could do this with your eyes closed. Just taking a nice long breath. As you breathe out, soften the head, neck and shoulders. And just feel loved. I want you to imagine you're being held with love, because you are. And then let the hands drop into the lap. Notice how you feel, and then open your eyes. Okay, need to just pop my glasses back on so I know what I'm doing. You'd think after about 30 of these I'd know what comes next, but I like to make sure I don't miss anything out that you might like to do. Oh, right, it's time for our feet. How very lovely. So just before you get your feet out of the water, what we're going to do is we're going to take the left foot out first. And when you dry your foot, I have a very specific request, and that is that you dry your foot as if it's the foot of somebody you utterly adore. You're going to dry in between the toes. You're going to dry it properly and carefully with love and attention. So I don't know if you just hop out the shower and let the bath mat take the drips and you don't even dry your feet, or you just dry them very roughly, or maybe you already take a little time. But there's something about drying between your toes that just makes you feel pampered. And you don't have to wait for somebody else to treat you this way. You can do this every time you get out of the bath or the shower, or just have a little foot spa while you're watching the telly of an evening. Why ever not? Now, if you have some lotion nearby and you'd like to put that on, that will help while we're doing the foot massage. So yeah, feel free to moisturize your foot, and then I'll show you what we're going to do next. And don't worry if you don't completely follow this, because it doesn't really matter so long as what you're doing is treating yourself with kindness and giving your foot some manipulation. Now, what I have here is, excuse me, showing you the sole of my foot, is a reflexology sock. and it shows you all the different areas of the foot and which parts of the body that relates to. And reflexology is all about manipulating the foot, mostly using the thumbs like this. So you can put one foot on the thigh, bend your knee and put it on the thigh of the other leg. And you're going to manipulate around your foot, and I'm going to tell you which bits you're doing. Now, if you're not able to reach your foot for whatever reason, please don't worry, because the almost exact same things, let me put this on, it's easier to show you, almost exact same things apply to the hand. So imagine that this is the body standing up, and we're working down the body to the base of the spine here. So there's the sinuses are at the tips of the fingers, but also at the tips of the toes. So the same applies. Now I won't keep showing you the hand map, but it's pretty much the same as the foot if you want to work along and you're basically doing the same thing but with your hand. And if you've got some lotion, that will help too. Okay, so we're going to take this little motion here of thumb and finger, and we're going to play This Little Piggy Went to Market along the tops of the toes, which is your sinuses. And start at the beginning. Ooh, lovely. Just giving the tips of your toes some love. The big toe is the head and the neck, so giving that some attention. You don't have to hold your foot up like I am. Just rest your foot on the other leg. Hope you're not dangling in the air. And then just below here in the paddy paws of the toes are the eyes and the ears. So if it's the hand, it's along this bit here. And then we're going to come to the ball of the foot, which is the heart and the thyroid and the lungs. So you might find it easier to get the thumbs in. We're doing little circles, or you can just keep pressing. If the circles hurt your thumbs, you can just press. And then when you go across from the heart, you go across to the shoulder here. So giving that some love. And then in the middle, where the arch of the foot is the stomach. So go gently there. Here's the stomach just here. And then all those internal organs like the adrenal glands, the spleen, the kidney, the colon, small intestine. So we're basically taking our thumbs all the way down, down, down the foot. And when you come towards the back of the foot to the heel, you've got the bladder, the genital glands, and the sciatic nerves. And giving that some love, because I've had some sciatic problems because I stopped doing yoga for a couple of days. I know, it's silly. Right, now give your foot a bit of a squeeze, kind of just an all over thing. And it'd be lovely to spend longer on this. You know, if you did this while you're watching the telly at night, you could just spend time where you feel like you need more of it. And then give your feet some applause. They've done a marvellous job, keeping you upright, being crammed into shoes and walking boots and whatever. And then just notice how that foot feels. Hopefully it feels rather nice. Mine certainly does. I think I've got the softest feet in Nottinghamshire right now. Right, we're going to do the same with the right foot, but remember, do it nicely with kindness and compassion. Drying between the toes, loving that foot, not starting to criticise that your nails need cutting or your feet are dry or you wish you hadn't worn those shoes that gave you that bunion, or none of that. Just let it go. Just look at that foot and think, wow, it does a good job for me. It keeps going. And sometimes they hurt and still keep going. Lovely. So once it's dry, if you've got some lotion and you want to put that on, please do. Just going to move my water carefully out of the way, and we're going to do the same on the other side. And you should have got the hang of what we're doing right now, but please do just, you know, listen with kindness to your own body. And if there's a part of your foot that you feel like, oh, that needs a little bit more love and attention, then please do. And there's a little caveat with this. If you find a part of your foot that seems to be a bit crunchy or a bit sore, it may well be that that part of the body needs some love and attention as well. But we have to remember with any kind of tension in the body that it didn't happen overnight. It built up gradually over time. So that's how we need to let go of it. So if you find something on your foot, or whether it's a sore shoulder or whatever, it didn't happen overnight, so you're not going to get rid of it overnight by digging in and being rough with it. It's little by little by little. So that's what we're going to do. Let's start with the sinuses. This little piggy, all the way to the little toe and back up again. And then some love for the head and the neck, which is the big toe. Then the eyes and the ears, which goes along there. And then we're going to give some love to the ball of the foot, which is the heart and the lungs and the thyroid. And you could get yourself some of these socks off the internet, but equally you could just have a look on screen, Google it, reflexology map, put it on screen or print it off if you're curious. But you don't really need to know what every area is. It's just interesting to know. Then we're going to come into the arch of the foot, where the stomach and the gallbladder and the liver and the kidney and the colon is. It's interesting to know, but you don't have to do that. Then coming all the way to the back of the foot, the bladder, the genital glands, and finally in the heel, the sciatic nerve. Okay, give your feet a squeeze, lemon cheese. I do talk some nonsense. And then give them the round of applause they deserve. Well done, foot. Well done, foot. Right, so bring your feet to a comfy place. Notice how you feel. You might want to roll your shoulders a little bit so that any tension that you've brought in while you've been busy on your feet just releases. And then just close your eyes for a moment or two. Let's take another one of those little sanity spaces. We're just noticing. I'm noticing that my feet seem to be made of clouds right now. Feels good. And generally speaking, I feel lighter and cleaner. And then I'd like you to tilt your chin down, so it's as if you're looking down towards yourself. Blink your eyes open, and I want you to smile a big grin at yourself. Eee. You're smiling at yourself for everything you've managed lately, everything you've done that you thought you couldn't do, all the challenges you're facing, all the things you've already been through. The fact that you made time to do this right now, whether you're live or on record, you're doing it. You're putting something back in your tank. Thank you. Smile at yourself. Eee. Even a fake smile will set off feel-good chemicals. And then lift your head, lift your arms, take a deep breath in as if you've just woken up in the morning. And make a big noise as you breathe out. Let's make the neighbours wonder what's going on. Right, where are we up to? We're off to the Maldives. I hope you don't mind. So get comfy. I'm going to share my screen with you. And when I do that, you'll hopefully see a very delightful Maldives beach. And ideally, just watch it for a little while until it's a familiar sight, and then get as comfortable as you can. If you have a blanket and a cushion, get cozy. And you don't need to see the screen, because now you can just relax, close your eyes, and imagine yourself right there on that white sandy beach on a beautiful sun lounger. Perhaps you have a cool drink by your side. You can hear the ebb and flow of the sea as it creeps gently onto the sand. There's a warm, warm sun on your face, but a cool breeze around your head, so you feel really comfortable. There's a scent of tropical wildflowers coming through the air, and the deep green of the tropical trees. There's a real contrast to the blue sky and the turquoise sea. And as you lie relaxing, it's as if you're fully supported by that sunbed, feeling the heaviness of your body held and safe. You can hear some little birds in the trees, and there is nothing you need to do except be here right now. Taking a long breath out, and as you lie down, feeling the sun warming you through to your bones, you can almost taste the salt on your lips and feel the sun drying your skin a little. It gets a little tight across your face in a very pleasant way. And deciding to take a walk, your feet walk across the white, warm sand, with the sand sifting through your toes. And you walk a little closer to the water. You can feel the sand becoming more firm and a little cooler. And now you can see your footprints. And as you leave those footprints in the sand, behind you, the sea ebbs in and covers them over. And so with life, yesterday's gone, let it go. Let the sea wash over the footprint of yesterday. And as you walk a little closer to the sea, it begins to come in and tickle your toes. You look at the sea. You can see the very tips of the waves sparkling in the sunlight like diamonds. And way above the sea, there's a bird, huge wingspan, beautiful feathers. And for a moment, you imagine what it would be like to be that bird. You feel the warm sun on the back of your wings. And you're wheeling and turning in the warm air thermals, just playing. And you realize that you don't need to flap your wings at all. You can just tilt the very tip of your wing feathers to wheel to the right and wheel to the left, having fun in the warm air thermals, looking down at those diamonds on the tips of the waves, seeing all the way through the clear sea to the fish below. And then you begin to glide completely without any effort, gliding slowly towards your sunbed until you come to land and you're you again, lying down in the warm sun. That golden bright ball in the sky, filling your whole self with a golden glow. Breathe in, and as you breathe in, you're breathing in that golden glow, filling yourself completely with sunshine. Beneath the blue sky, you are now a ball of golden light. As you breathe it in and breathe it out, it's as if your breath is in time with the ebb and flow of the sea. In fact, you might even be able to imagine that you control the tide with your breath in and your breath out. So the tide comes and goes. noticing how you feel, noticing the most beautiful parts of this place that's just for you. You are safe, you are well, you have all you need. And so, I'm now going to take your arms all the way out to the sides of your body and looking at that beautiful place, I'd like you to scoop your hands in and towards your heart space. Keep breathing in and scooping up all that beautiful scenery, the power of the sea, the blue of the sky, the magnificence that you see before you, and that feeling. What is that feeling? Maybe it's calm or peace or contentment or maybe joy. Scoop in that feeling right the way into your heart space, breathing it in. And then one final time, putting the arms out to the side and then bringing them, scooping into your heart space. Hold your hands on your heart space and breathing, knowing that inside of you is where all of that resides. So that any time you need to, you can just take some longer breaths. And as you breathe, you're accessing that beautiful place and that lovely feeling, knowing all is well and you have all you need. Letting your hands drop into your lap, I'd like you to start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, and then just begin to move a little and stretch a little and bring yourself back to the room. Maybe opening your eyes and looking around with love and not judgment. And then bringing your eyes to the screen and noticing that the ebb and flow of the tide is eternal. It keeps on going, always beautiful, always ebbing and flowing, just like life, just like you. You're connected to nature and all is well. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing the screen now and welcome you back. Hello. I hope you enjoyed that. Feel free to drop a note in the comments. Even if you're on catch up, you can do that because I'll see them at a later date. And hopefully you enjoyed that. So the full version of that is on my YouTube channel. You'll find it under Virtual Holiday. Get my hair's all a mess, all that rubbing our heads. So you can watch that whenever you want, really, and just enjoy that. So if you have a cushion with you, I would like you to get that now. If you haven't got a cushion, you could just get a rolled up blanket or a rolled up jumper. If you haven't got anything like that to hand, don't worry, don't dash off and spoil all your relaxation. Don't worry at all. You can just, if you've got something, then hold it. If you haven't, just put your arms like this. And we're going to do a version of a Kundalini warm-up called adrenal twist. And the idea is the adrenal glands at the back of the body here need a little encouragement sometimes to get warmed up and to relax all the muscles in that area. So we're going to do a little adrenal twist. Now the non-scientific version of this, the way I picture it, is that it's like the body's like a flannel and we're squeezing out the adrenaline that we don't need, all the stress hormones that have occurred that we haven't got a use for because we're not doing fight or flight. We're actually trying to do an email, for goodness sake, or whatever it is. So you're going to either hold your cushion or blanket or whatever it is, or just hold your arms, which is what I'm going to do. And then you're going to just gently go to the left and gently to the right, and you're going to do that with your eyes closed. just gently rocking from left to right, which is a very, very gentle version of the adrenal twist. And as you're doing that, I'd like you to imagine that you're hugging somebody you'd really love to hug right now. Could be somebody you fancy off the telly, could be anybody at all. But just imagining, could even just be an imaginary person, a made up person that would just be the right person that you'd like to hug right now. And as you're doing that, breathe nice and long and slow. So we have an adrenal twist and we have a lovely hug at the same time. And as you continue to do that, as slowly as you like, whatever pace feels right for you, I'm just going to explain that what you're experiencing is a little oxytocin. It's known as the love drug. And it's what we experience when we have a hug, but it's also what we experience when we imagine we're having a hug. So come to stillness, gently open your eyes. If you want to stay in the hug position, please feel free. But oxytocin is really, really magical, because what we also know is that when you get a burst of oxytocin from that sense of connection, we also trigger off something called nitric oxide. Not nitrous oxide, that's a whole different drug. Nitric oxide widens the blood vessels and means we have a healthier heart. So the more of these little connections we have, the better. But worry not if you're not getting many hugs right now, because the body doesn't know the difference between pretending and real. Now, if you don't believe that, just think about how many times you've scared yourself with something that wasn't even there, something you imagined might be scary. So it doesn't have to be real to make you scared and make your heart race and bring all that adrenaline and stress hormones to the fore. And that's the bad news. The same happens with the good stuff. When you imagine yourself to be having a lovely hug, or, for instance, lying down on a beach, being a bird in the sky, when we imagine those things, it's as if it's for real. So we still get the feel-good chemicals of that, even though we're pretending. So don't underestimate that. And if you want to go to bed holding a cushion, you blooming do it. It's good for you. So that oxytocin is great, and you can get it in lots of different ways. We get it when we stroke our pets, and the pets get some too. How lovely is that? We get it when we do somebody a kindness and they say thank you and we have a smile. We get it when somebody does us a kindness and we say thank you and give a smile. All of those little human connections, which is why we are predisposed as human beings to be a tribal clan. You know, why we link together and why we enjoy being kind to each other. We're built that way. We get a buzz when we're being nice to each other. So I think you probably do quite a lot of that. And then I'm asking you, in addition, to be kind to yourself as well. So that's oxytocin. Now, if we were really, really in a room together doing this, pre-COVID, or perhaps post-COVID, maybe we'll do this post-COVID, I would be asking you to choose one of these beautiful stickers. You could have a silver one, or you can have a gold one. Heck, they're virtual. You can have both. I don't mind. So the idea is, you stick it where you like, really. But the idea is that you stick it up to remind you every time you see it of how precious you are, that you are someone truly amazing, STA. And when you get all shy and kind of humble and all that stuff you do when you go, oh, it was nothing, and you say, really, Pam, I don't feel very amazing, then that's what the R is for. Someone truly amazing, yes, really. So you might want to draw a little star on a post-it, stick it on your computer. You might want to print one off. You might want to find a picture of one and have it as your screensaver. But I'd like you to remember what star you are, because every single moment of every single day, you are valuable to the world. You have a right to be here. In the words of Desiderata, you have a right to be here, no less than the trees and the stars. And no matter how you think you're doing, if you have been beating yourself up with the old hammer and thinking you're not doing very well at the moment, don't check on that. Check on the things that you are doing, the things you can give yourself a little thumbs up for, the things that are going well, even if they're tiny, because that will just change the way that you feel, and then becomes a habit and will build your well-being. So I hope that that's been helpful to you. A couple of things that you might want to know about, which is I am now going to do one of these every last Monday. So if you want to, you could put it in your diary. Every last Monday of the month, 6:30 till 8, a free spa for you. Please, 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 if you know people who are frazzled, if you know people who are all out, even if they're sitting at home retired, but they're really feeling stuff at the moment, please, please share. And especially if you know people who are working hard to support other people. Those are the people that I really, really want to have access to this kind of thing, so that they recharge their batteries and they don't go pop. Every Monday morning I send out a little email to remind you of these things, so you can find that on my website, pamburrows.com. At the bottom of every page you can sign up for that free email every Monday morning. You can find me on if you do podcasts, find my podcast every Wednesday morning. It's called Shed the Stress, and in the summer it's recorded in my shed. It's not at the moment. I'm cheating at the moment and doing it inside. So what else can I give you? All over my YouTube channel is loads of things to help, and I think you might particularly like a playlist I have called switch off techniques, which is great for switching off so that you can fall asleep better, stay asleep better, and sleep deeper so you wake refreshed. So I hope that you'll try some of those out. Subscribe to me on YouTube so you find out the new stuff that's coming. How else can we spread the love? You can put Pam Burrows People Booster into Google and just sign up for it all, because it's all free and you can have it. LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube especially, because there's loads and loads of good stuff there. Let's spread the love. Right, anything else I was going to tell you about? Oh yes, very importantly, two things. One is, if your organisation could do with a little boost or a big boost, a full care program, or just an afternoon of switching off. It doesn't have to be a spa. I can do all of the science and psychology of stress without people feeling embarrassed with their feet in a bucket. Not everybody has to wear a tutu like I do. So yeah, if your organisation needs a boost, then email me pam@pamburrows.com. and if you need a boost and you'd like to join in with the Feel Good Club, we have a Wellbeing Wednesday group that meets every single week. Then find me on Patreon. That's www.patreon, patreon.com/Pam Burrows. I think Annie might be putting it in the comments for me. Are you? Yay. God, it's almost like we know what we're doing. How fantastic. And I'd love you to join the Feel Good Club. I know there's some Feel Good Clubbers watching right now. Hello, I love you. I love you. And yeah, for 20 quid a month, you can have every Wednesday something gorgeous to switch off and restore your batteries. Thank you for being here, and if there are more things that I can help you with, then please do let me know that there's something I can help you with. And that's all from me, but I'm going to finish off with another little relaxation, at which point I'll just switch everything off. So I've done all the goodbyes first, and then you get to do a little relaxation. So get comfy. And let's do some relaxation. I'm going to sit cross-legged for this and get really comfy. So get as comfortable as you can. Gently close your eyes. Roll your shoulders back and down. Loosen the jaw. Let the tongue rest in the bottom palate. And as you sit or lie wherever you are, I'd like you to imagine that there are roots from the base of your body and the soles of your feet that go deep, deep, deep down into the earth. Deeper still, where the power of the earth is, and thinking about the power of the earth. It grows all the things we need to create the oxygen we breathe. It grows the things we need to eat. It has the power to create earthquakes and volcanoes. Imagine that you are completely rooted into the power of the earth. And then, as you begin to breathe in, you're breathing in the power of the earth up into your body, all the way to the top of your head, and then breathing out and letting go of anything you don't need. Breathing in all the way out to your fingertips and breathing out and letting go of anything you don't need. Breathing in the power of the earth up through those roots and into your body, filling your body with the power of the earth. You might even be able to imagine what colour that would be. Breathing in, breathing out whatever you don't need, feeling fully connected to the earth. And as you stay connected by your breath to the power of the earth, let's just celebrate for a moment or two how amazing you are. Sometimes we focus on the things we didn't get right. Let's even that out by thinking about times when you've tried really hard, times when you really did do the right thing, times when you just kept going when actually you would have liked to have given up. And let's think about the times when you did give up because it was the right thing to do. Let's think about all of those talents you have that you underestimate, and that when people give you a compliment you go, it was nothing, it was easy. It was easy because you're good at it. Breathe in now, imagining you're breathing in all of the compliments you've dismissed over the years. Breathing out and letting go of tension, softening your shoulders, your face, your head, your neck, your jaw, your tongue. Breathing in all of those talents and characteristics that make you who you are. The things people say to you. Maybe there's something that really wasn't always seen as a positive, but actually it is. I used to get told off for talking at school, and now I get paid for it. What is it about you that's particular? Maybe people say you're too much. Well, you might be too much for them. Doesn't mean you are too much. Breathing in compliments. Let's breathe in too much as a compliment. Let's think about how being too much makes the world go round. Breathing in, knowing that you are truly amazing. Breathing in and feeling good about who you are. And noticing how you feel. Noticing the breath. And then again, tilting the chin down towards yourself. Blinking the eyes open. And then stretching the arms up as if you've just woken up in the morning. Big breath in. Big noise as you breathe out. Oh. And bringing yourself back to now. And then if you have a mind, if you're inclined, I would be delighted if in the comments box you would see if your level of stress that you quoted at the beginning of the session has gone up or down or stayed the same, and a couple of words about how you feel. I'd love to know. I'd really love to be in a room with you right now so we could have a proper old chin wag about how that's gone for you. So I hope you'll write it in the comments and let me know. And if you would like to be in a room, at least a Zoom room, then have a think about joining the Feel Good Club, because we have most of our meetings live in Zoom on a Wednesday. Sometimes it's a recorded session, but mostly we have a good old chin wag about how we're feeling, about how it's going, and I answer questions about things that people are finding tricky, and lots of good techniques. So I hope you'll join me there. If you have a question, you could also ask that in the comments box right now. So please do that. I know there's a lag between me speaking into Zoom and that coming out of your device on YouTube. So it might take a minute or two for that to happen. Remember to give yourself a hug. In fact, let's have another one now. A little bit of oxytocin. And, you know, if you have a loved one or a colleague that's a bit irritating, you could be extra nice to them, knowing that you get oxytocin and a healthier heart. There is some good research, actually, if you fancy looking into that. Dr. David Harrison, he's researched a lot into happiness and love, and I went to a talk that he did, and he was talking about a piece of research where they got a lot of couples and they asked them, how much do you bicker? And the group of couples that bickered were seen to have hardening of the arteries, and they were on the way to heart disease. And the ones that did little kindnesses to each other during the day had healthy hearts. Now, that's a bit of a stark overview of probably quite intricate research, but that's basically the headline. So being nice to people is good for you, even if you think, well, actually, I'm not sure if they deserve it. So yeah, being nice to people is good for you, and that's the thing to focus in on. So don't get involved in NMS, not my stuff, which is usually OPN, other people's nonsense. And I can hear Annie writing me a note, which is coming from your YouTube. So I'll just hang on to see what those results are. And just remember to spread the love. So just to repeat what I said earlier, which is I've decided I'm going to do this every last Monday. The recording will go up on YouTube, but you can join me live every last Monday, 6:30 till 8. And I did new content tonight. I was so worried that I wouldn't have time to fit it all in, and then I ended up finishing a little early. But hopefully you've enjoyed that extra relaxation at the end. So Alison is down to a 2. Yay, Alison! Sanj is feeling happy. Oh, Katie Ann, stress definitely decreased. Well done. Yeah. And Sammy down to a 2, happy and relaxed. Oh, do you know, that gives me oxytocin. So thanks for making my heart healthy. I'm just utterly delighted that you've spent this time with me and shared. So, oops, that fell off. Right, so I'm not going to carry on waffling just to make it to 8 o'clock, because that seems a bit unfair to you, because I haven't planned anything and I would just be filling the time. But if you do feel like you would like a little more of something, then do have a look around on the YouTube channel and subscribe so that you get to find out whatever else I'm doing here. We've got some fun videos that we're going to make in the next couple of weeks, one of which includes the game Buckaroo. So I'm not telling you any more than that. Yeah, have a look for that switch off techniques. I think that'll be really useful to you. Stop you lying in bed with everything whirling around in your head, or waking up in the night with it all whirling around. It really does help. I use it myself. Okay, so that's all from me. If you get my Monday message, I'll see you Monday morning. If you listen to my podcast, I'll see you Wednesday morning. If you're in the Feel Good Club, I'll see you Wednesday night. We're going to be live again. Can't wait. And if I've never met you before, I love you. And that might sound odd, but it's true. And if you have met me before, you already know that I love you. So take good care of your very, very precious self. And I'll see you next time.